Okay, we'll call to order the Raymore Parks and Recreation Board meeting for Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. Can I get a roll call, please?
Microphone's on now. Member Williamson.
Present.
Member Manson.
Present.
Troutman.
Present.
Howdy Shell.
Present.
Supple.
Present.
Harris.
Present.
Staff members Rulo, Gibbs, and Nab, as well as myself, are present.
Thank you. We'll now move to the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, next we will move on past personal appearances and to consent agenda. We need to approve the minutes from the July 28th and August 11th meetings.
Mr. Chairman, I move we present the consent agenda, both items A and B as presented.
Second.
Great, hearing it first and second. Any modifications? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor? Passes 6-0, 3 absent. Okay, next we'll move to staff reports. Director?
Thank you, sir. I will call on Recreation Superintendent Gibbs for a recreation report.
Chairman, Board, thank you. Just to give you some updates on what we've been doing on the for recreation facilities. You heard earlier with some of our athletics and sports programs. At this time, I'd like to talk a little bit about the recreation programs and just what we all know where we're at as far as with COVID-19, and a lot of our recreation community-based programs have not had an opportunity to be fulfilled. You know, we've had a lot of cancellations, either from low attendance numbers or low registration numbers, or because of issues with social distancing and wanting to make sure that we have safety in place for all of our participants. So, but I do want to let you know that we are continuing to research what mostly just be able to research the best practices in some other communities, whether that be esports or online classes. And while some of those are, they're very new. They're very new to us, and they're new to a lot of other folks as well. Some are just, you know, they kind of have a cool acceptance to start with. But what I talked with staff today is that we can't be discouraged because there are so many cancellations, and that we don't feel like we're fulfilling a lot of our roles in the community of providing services, because we are right now, we're learning what will work and what doesn't work. But we've also started to identify some of these online opportunities that are maybe not working right now, but as we tweak them and as we move into a different time, they will be successful. So we're trying to be able to touch that social equity part of our programming, so that in our community we're able to reach out to a lot more folks. It's not just people that are coming into a painting class or coming into a fitness class or whatever. We're now learning how we can reach out electronically to folks in the future, and whether that be a Lego camp or that's a game coding program camp, or something along those lines, that we don't have to all be in the same room. Those are some of those things that are going to be very popular for us as we move into next spring and next summer programming. So as we look at our upcoming events, activities, they're kind of skinny right now, but we know that we're we're going to be able to have a lot more activities that are coming up. Moving over to the vision for TB Hanna Station. I've learned so much in the last 5 weeks that I've been here, from the spray park to the new playground, the ice skating rink, all of these things. I mean, it is just, I'm so happy to be a part of this. On the spray park side, I am in the process of developing all the operations manuals and plan for daily operations, starting openings and closings, and everything from buying chemicals to fixing things, and being able to, in the near future, work with Steve and his staff on how the operations of that facility will go. We haven't got it open yet, but we're excited to, later this fall, be able to test it a little bit more before we actually come in and have to go through the learning process of how to winterize that new system. And so we'll be hiring a company that will come out and train us how to winterize. And that's blowing all the lines out, adding antifreeze, just completely putting that facility to bed so that we don't have any opportunities for winterizing damage. And then next fall or next spring, we'll be able to open it up and hopefully have it ready for the kiddos early in the season. Moving on to the ice skating rink, doing the same things with operations manuals. Again, working with Steve and his staff on setting a timeline of when that ice skating rink will be, when we'll start the construction. And we have a couple different operational plan changes that we'll do this year that we didn't last year, including some insulation and maybe just a few different ways of learning how to build ice. It's one thing I didn't know. It's not like you just flood it and turn it on like you build ice in your freezer. It's a long process, and I've learned from these two that it's a long process with a quarter inch at a time of ice. But we've got some different plans in place that really should help us be successful this year. So, and some of those, the operational side, how we're building the ice, how we're maintaining the ice, but then our ideas of how we're renting skates and how we're, the programming side of it, can we give skating lessons, or can we, do we have a figure skater in the community that can come out and do demonstrations, or, just trying to really think outside of the box for things that will draw people to that park. It is really quickly becoming such a showpiece in the community. So it's there's a lot of stuff now, and there's going to be a lot more to come. Once we move then into the mayor's Christmas tree lighting, that's where we're also looking to do adding of lights throughout the spray park, adding lights on the playground area, adding lights on the depot itself, and just trying to come up with all of these cool ideas of engaging folks in the community as they come out for all those different events. It's going to look a little different than it has in the past. Not sure who Santa Claus is going to be, Steve, but it might not be the same that we have Santa Claus that is sitting on a in a chair and seeing the kids. Still trying to figure out the logistics, how we social distance with that. But I think we'll be successful with it, and we're doing everything we can to even look for some community partnerships that can sell, hot chocolate or some carolers, or working with the Kansas City Symphony to have some live music going on during some different events and special events, not just at the mayor's Christmas tree lighting, but throughout the season. And those, those are just some events that are going on right now. We still have, 9 months worth of stuff to do next year that we're pretty excited to be able to move forward on that. The vision is there, and we're gonna make it all happen. A couple, talking with Nathan, Director Nathan, earlier today, we're gonna be starting to work on acclimating me with the budget process. We're just a couple months out of starting the next process, the next calendar, and so I'll be much more involved with doing that. So On the report that I have, there's, this report that you see now is a continuation of the reports that you have seen in the past. This is the last time you'll see it in this form. I am going to introduce more statistics, performance type of measures that you'll be able to better track from meeting to meeting how our department is, how we're doing. You know, it's not just, hey, our softball games are doing good, or our softball team numbers or whatever, but some more hard information, some more statistics, so that you can do a little bit more comparative. But then we'll still talk about our programs, but you'll be able to have a better idea that, last year we had this many teams or this much participation and this much revenue coming in at certain times, and we'll be able to track our progress a little bit better. So looking forward to getting some of that done as well. A couple of things that I wanted to point out on some of the accomplishments, and these are on the report. Already talked about TB Hanna Spray Park, but I did want to talk about the staff recruitment that we're currently in for 2 part-time seasonal folks. One that will be more scheduled at the RAC on a set schedule, and then another person that will work as needed at Centerview for special events, after hours, parties, weddings, whatever. Currently, Greta from our office does that. She does setup, she does tear down, she does janitorial, and those are in addition to what she is currently doing for our office. I don't want to burn Greta out, and honestly, it's a lot of work. And so this person that we're attempting to recruit right now will be that point person that can do the setup and tear down of chairs and tables and sound systems and projectors and everything else that's needed in that room. We're hoping and anticipating the ramp up of reservations in that facility to just go off the charts within the next 6 months. And so we need to start addressing how we're going to do that. And we want to be able to have something in there every night, every weekend. And for that to be it really is it's a beautiful facility in this community, and we want people to be able to use it. We're also finding out that there's not a lot of people, that not everybody knows that it's there yet. I mean, it's still kind of hidden. So it's a fantastic facility, and we're ready to just blow the doors off with reservations and revenue generation from that facility. Couple items that we've got coming up this coming Saturday. We got the fishing derby. It was rescheduled from a couple months ago. I think Steve might talk about it as well, but we're working very closely with Steve and his staff. Pretty excited about some of his guys this is their program. They really enjoy it. So that's a really cool cooperation between the two of us. On October 2nd, which is a Friday, we do have a movie night, and it's going to be at Centerview. Originally, it was going to be inside. We are now trying to figure out the logistics of moving it out onto the patio and having people out on the lawn. We think we're going to make it work. We're just trying to figure out how exactly with the projector and the screen that we have that are designed more for indoor, how are we going to do it outside? So, but we think it shouldn't be any problem at all. Next recreation event then is October 9th in Rec Park. It's the Touch a Truck Fest. Trucktober, Touch a Truck, Trucktober. So, yep, it's looking like it's going to be a great opportunity. I hope that it can't be canceled from anything other than weather. It's outdoors, it's everybody's social distance, and that's always a pretty cool event. So that is all I have for my report. Any questions?
Any questions for Superintendent Gibbs? Melinda?
Okay, I got a couple. So, on the ice skating rink,
Yes.
I know last year we had trouble keeping it ice.
Frozen?
Yes, and not liquid. And I know at the time we'd talked about doing something to try to block the sun or something like that. Where do we stand with that?
So, and what you'll see, and I think it's in the packet this evening, is there are some improvements. In addition to, we're enclosing more of the station with railing. We are also then lining the railing on all sides, or all three sides of the ice with wind screens. And then on the top of the pole, there's going to be a custom edge pad. The windscreen will help keep the wind down, but then it'll also help deflect the direct sun onto the ice. And just reading through, and we'll work with Steve and his folks as well on this, learning differently how to make and maintain the ice. It can be too thick and it won't work. If it snows and you don't clean it off, it'll melt your ice. I mean, there's just all these things that we just didn't know, you know, and so there are some things that we hope that will definitely keep us frozen. We have the equipment that the company claims should keep us frozen. So hopefully this year our operational steps will prove them right.
Okay, sorry, I'm reading because I was like, I read through that, our action item, but I did not see anything other than railings in here, so that's why I was rereading it, going, did I miss that? So, I can I'll hold off on the other question for a little bit then, but, also, you were talking about music and possibly maybe even doing something with the Kansas City Symphony.
Yes.
Have you thought about talking to the high schoolers and seeing if we could get, you know, them to come out? I mean, golly, you know, at least I know from, you know, trying to watch my son in soccer, you're limited, you know, to who can go and who can see it. And so what a great opportunity to be able to, you know, showcase some of them in a setting that's going to be open, you know, where anybody can come and it'll be more of a draw.
That's a fantastic opportunity. I'll reach out. We're working with one of the high schools to possibly do some or renting of one of our facilities for some of their events, and so maybe that's a perfect opportunity for both vocal and for band to showcase.
Yeah, okay. And then Centerview, the position you were talking about, you know, to replace Greta.
To enhance.
Well, take some of the job responsibilities off of her. Are you looking for like an event coordinator type person? I mean, is this going to be somebody who's going to have to be interacting a lot and they're going to be,
Well,
you know.
I think most of the interaction is going to still be through Greta. She's our point person for reservations and making sure that she asks all the right questions, and knowing if a caterer's come in or if sound or whatnot. For this position, it is going to be a lower level person that can do the setup. They will probably be there, but they're more than likely not going to be the decision maker.
So Greta's still going to have to be there.
Not there.
So the
but
night of the event, what if something goes on? I mean, and you're
we
needing.
have, currently, Greta's is correct, that we do have event staff, or we have building staff too that are on site at all times.
Okay.
But they're not the ones that are able to, you know, that are setting up tables and lifting and,
So this is more kind of almost maintenance type position in a way?
could very well, because of, part of it then will be cleaning tables and chairs before they're put away, cleaning the floors, cleaning the restrooms,
Okay,
which Greta does now too, so.
okay. All right, that's all I have.
Any other questions? I'd like to suggest Santa on ice this year, if we could get that done. That would be fantastic. I'd love to see that.
I think that can happen.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Gibbs. Director.
We will have Superintendent Rulo give his report at this time.
Thank you. I submitted a written report, but wanted to touch on a few things. One, we're still working on replacing our maintenance worker one. Ethan Solberger's last day was September 11th, so we've been doing some different things on getting everything mowed, keeping up. There's never a dull moment nowadays down at the maintenance staff. I'm on a mower, I'm on the turtle doing baseball, I'm with a rake and everything else. So we're doing what we need to do to get it done. And also, like Jimmy had said, the fishing derby is this Saturday down at Hawk Ridge Park. Fishing in Johnston Lake. It starts at, I think registration is at 8 o'clock. The fishing's gonna start at 9 and will go to 11, I believe. And then the awards ceremony will go on, or awards will be handed out, and probably be wrapped up around noon. So if you, it's supposed to be a beautiful, beautiful day. If you guys ain't doing anything, come on out. It's usually a really fun event to see the kids catching fish. Just excited. Sometimes it's their first fish, what have you. But it is a good fun-filled event that we put on. And then I've been working with McConnell Asphalt Company, trying to line up when we can have them come in and Band-Aid our tennis courts. We usually have them come in every year. You know that last year they got skipped. The tennis courts down at Rec Park really need it bad. They're going to come in. I think they're trying to get here the first or second week of October. We were setting that up with the tennis coach through the high school to make sure that if the tennis court or if the tennis team goes to state, obviously it'll be a little bit longer. So I'll be touching base with them sometime this week to find out if we can go ahead and roll with this. And other than that, I think that's all I have to report. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for Superintendent Rulo? No? Thank you, sir. Director?
Thanks, sir. I too have submitted a written report. Just want to highlight a couple things and then happy to answer any questions that you might have. First and foremost, we did receive the Memorial Park recycled tire playground surfacing grant. We completed that project, submitted our final paperwork. They came out, did an inspection, and we have received a reimbursement grant of $28,000. So the entire project's finished. We came in just $2,000 under budget for what we had originally budgeted for that project. So overall, a good experience. And if the timing ever works out again, I wouldn't hesitate to apply for that again. It was very simple, other than limited to the color, which I'm okay with it. You know, $28,000 is $28,000. So we also are currently in the design process of the bond projects. I know we've been talking about them since they were passed in August. First up is Centerview and Hawk Ridge Park. So working with engineering and also working on RFQs for consultants that we might need for that. We're trying to do as much in-house as we can, and we'll not really much has changed in terms of design other than what you guys have already seen or we've already discussed. It's more just the process of going through it and getting on paper, getting it bid out for construction. So working on that. Let's see, one more week of farmers market. 1 week from tonight will be the last farmers market. And tomorrow, myself, Jimmy, Todd Brennan, and Melissa Harmer from the communications department are scheduled to attend an executive forum training in Lenexa that is offered through Missouri and Kansas Parks and Rec Associations. If you guys remember, last fall at Centerview, we hosted the event when it was on the Missouri side. It's on the Kansas side now. So the four of us, they ran a special this year because it's really the first event that we're able to do either in person or via virtual. And we have all elected to attend in person. Feel like it's a better experience when you're there in person since they're allowing us. And it is on crisis communication, which is a perfect subject matter during this time. So we will be there for that, and that concludes staff report, sir.
Great. Any questions for the director? No? Thank you, sir. Next, we'll move on. No unfinished business, so we'll move on to new business. Action item A, budget amendment for depot railings. Director?
Thank you, sir. Previously in our September work session, we talked about capital projects and things, and I know that when we had the tour of TV Hanna Station, those of you that were able to attend that, we were under the depot, and I went pretty extensively on the ice rink, improvements, enhancements to the depot, things that the ice rink caused problems at the depot, and laid out a plan for how we wanted to address those things. I'm happy to say the plan is moving forward. Tomorrow, in fact, we have a geotechnical services coming to do some core drilling on the concrete and see what's causing some of the damage underneath the surface that we see during the winter time. So we hope to have a report on that and how we can repair that. One of our projects was twofold. Number one, it was an enhancement on the depot in terms of just aesthetics, kind of matching it the way the park has changed since the depot was built, where it was an open on one side. We really want to kind of close that down, but it also helps from a safety perspective for the ice rink. And those are permanent railings that kind of block the side off. And ultimately, later on this year, we will also do temporary railings, which when the ice rink is in place, we can close off the middle gates that walk through of the middle. We want to temporarily close those, which are sturdy enough for safety railings, but we can take them off in the summertime when the ice rink's not there. So that's the next phase that we'll do later this winter. But tonight before you, we got the pricing on the permanent railings. We chose to stick with we were approved to stay with a sole source bid and go with the manufacturer of the facility. Since it's not that old, we could get exactly it's still and you can still buy that building, so we could order those railings so it meets all the specifications and exact same color. So we bid that out or asked for a quote for that. And as Superintendent Gibbs mentioned earlier, we also included windscreens. And the purpose of the windscreens is when we make the ice, we have to block off the wind to keep leaves and debris and stuff from getting in the ice. Otherwise it gets on there and it melts in there, and the ice is dirty, is essentially what it is. The windscreens are very much like what you would see on a tennis court or a trampoline style of material. Wind can go through, but it blocks all the debris. So these have been custom designed to fit our railings on all three sides of the rink. They will be black, so to help with some UV protection to help keep the temperature as sturdy or as stable as we can inside the rink. And also on top of that, with the railings closed, the anticipation is very much like a skating rink, where the railing is kind of your safety net as you're skating. And why we wanted those solid is that when kids or folks lean on those, they don't give way. Well, we need to also have some padding. So we have the padding that is custom designed. It's very much like the wrap on a volleyball pole or the wall padding underneath a backboard in a gym. It's more like a saddle bag where it just sits over the railings. We tie it on and it stays there throughout. So it's a good feature. It's perfect for the ice rink. It's a nice safety feature. We have been collecting prices on all of these things. That particular bid came in right at $14,945. That is installed. So the next question is, how do you fund that? We're here tonight to request a budget amendment and what we feel like is a good use of our funding. One of our projects earlier this year, which was the Memorial Park trail lights into Arboretum, we budgeted $30,000 for that project. It actually came in right at $15,000. Ironically, they started putting the post up this week, so that project's coming to an end really quickly. So I'd recommend you guys go out and check out the trail at Memorial Park, because you're going to have the new lights out there, which are going to look really nice. So, however, there's $15,000 that would typically go back into our fund balance, remain there until next year when we could use it for further projects. We feel like this is a necessity. It fits the budget. It's actually perfect for the budget, and so we're here tonight requesting a budget amendment to move that money over and to purchase the railings and the safety pads and the windscreens for the depot. And that concludes staff report.
Any questions of Director? Melinda?
Okay, two, if I can read them. Far as matching on the railings, so, you know, it's been up already for a little while. What about the fading, you know, with the sun and stuff like that? Have we actually matched the two, the new one with the, you know, current one? So we make sure they actually do match, or are we just gonna have to do what we can do, and if it is off a little bit, it's off a little bit?
We'll have to do what we can do.
Okay.
We order the same color. You can't, when it's powder coated, they're gonna be shinier than the old one is, and there's not much you can do about that. When it's powder coated, even though it's shiny, it still does have a powdery film to it, and that's just gonna be part of it. It'll wear off eventually and blend in a little better.
Okay. And then this quote here, so it does include everything. It's not just railings, it's the wind protector, it's the padding, it's everything?
Yes, it is the windscreen. If you look on the quote, it has 175 linear feet of windscreen. That's the black windscreen that goes along the railings. The permanent railing with hardware, there's two different sizes. So it's broke down there. And then the flat sewn pad with grommets, that's what we talked about, the safety pads that hang over the railing. So it is all included. We did contact them, was it last week, to confirm that it did include installation, not just a delivery on site, and it does include installation for that as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Ryan?
Yeah, you'd mentioned the two temporary railings that you would put up that are removable, but on the remarks it says those sections with no install would add 3770. So is that not included in the 14,945? Because it's below saying that those two temporary sections would add to the bid.
That is true. The 3770 is not included. That was if we were to purchase railings as temporary. What we found out is that those railings are going to be more of a custom, because we want to be able to remove them. It's more of a custom manufacture, not just what they included there is if we chose not to do temporary, just buy to fit and install them. That's what it would cost to buy and install those. And that's not included in there. Is that an answer?
Yeah. Okay.
Anyone else? Brian?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the budget amendment for $15,000 for the depot railing project.
Second.
Okay, hearing a first and second, any discussion? Not seeing any discussion at this point in time, we will vote. All those in favor? Passes 6-0, 3 absent. At this time, we're going to do something a little different. At this point, I'll call on Superintendent Rulo.
Thank you. Yeah, during the public comment, I would like to introduce to you all Dean Johnson. He's from Troop 1032, and he would like to come up and give a little presentation on a project that he would like to do that will help out my staff, and it's a great thing for the community here.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Dean Johnson, and I'm here tonight as a member of Scouts of America Troop 1032 to seek approval for my Eagle Rank service project that will take place at the Raymore Recreation Park. First, I would like to thank you in your time and consideration and your dedication by serving on this park board. Personally, I live by and utilize Hog Ridge Park, and continued work and improvements is a great addition to our community and something we can all be proud of. As I need the completion of requirements to achieve my Eagle rank, I am responsible to plan and facilitate a service project in my community. My proposal to the park board is the needed replacement of a backboard on the tennis courts of Raymore Recreation Park. These courts are not only utilized by the citizens of our community, but they are also the home court of our Raymore Peculiar High School tennis team. Time and use has created wood rot, holes in the backboard, and leaves debris on the court. Upon approval and in cooperation with Steve Riolo, I will coordinate my volunteers to remove, dismantle, and dispose of the current backboard and build and install a new backboard with the same specifications as the original. The backboard is a 10-foot tall and 20-foot wide. It will be constructed of CCA or CCQ lumber, 2x4 frame, and 3/4-inch plywood. It will be attached to the fence in the same manner as it is currently attached, with fence clamps holding it to the surrounding chain link fence. It will be painted both sides with rubber protection with outdoor semi-gloss paint with a current green and white color pattern. Financially, the replacement of the backboard is established to be around $850, of which I will seek donations of funds and materials through friends, family, and our community partner, Lowe's Home Improvement. The project will not have no fiscal impact on the city of Raymore. Upon approval from the Parks Board and the Heart of America Council, I plan to do this project in the weekend of late October or early November. I will coordinate with Mr. Rulo as when an appropriate time would be to close down the court, and my project will not take more than 1 day or a day and a half. If you have any questions, I will do my best to answer them. Thank you.
Any questions for this fine young man? Brian, you're our tennis expert. What do you think?
I'm no expert, but I have used that, so I appreciate you putting the effort into the courts. And after we get them resurfaced or fixed, the cracks, and then we add that to it, that'll be a nice addition.
Agreed.
I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Excellent project. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Oh, sorry.
Do we have to do anything official to approve it, or we just say we like the project? Yeah, great job. By
I
the
can
way, that
tell
was a
we
great
like the project.
presentation.
Thank you.
We didn't have any questions because you nailed everything.
Right. Impressive presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, that was a nice surprise. Moving on, we will go to board member comment. Chanda?
I have nothing, thank you.
William?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Okay. Melinda?
Gosh, I think I've gone like 3 months and not had a comment, and I think I'm just gonna keep going, so.
Wow,
No.
impressive. Ryan?
Gonna keep the train rolling.
Oh, no. Brian?
I'm going to break the train.
That's fine.
Because
That's more than fine.
I just want to say how good it was. I haven't been to the park. I mean, we've been to Hawk Ridge Park a couple times walking, but it was very good to hear everybody say that Rec Park was absolutely packed, that people are out there participating. So thank you to staff for doing what you guys do and keeping everything rolling. Really appreciate that. Thanks to the park board too.
Thank you, Brian. I'm going to piggyback on that. One of the things that I liked that I heard tonight, which came out of Superintendent Gibbs's mouth, was always moving, which has been since Nathan has been here in my time on the board. The whole idea is always moving, never sitting still, never just going with status quo. Nothing's worse than status quo, and you guys have hit a home run. To seeing Greta in the office, to all the staff, to Steve's group, it's always moving, and I'm so appreciative of that. Last thing I want to do is I want to do a quick shout out to Coach Chase Kaufman. I am blessed to be one of the coaches in the Social League. He was my opponent, and not only, if you don't know his background, obviously played at University of Missouri, played in the NFL for, I believe, 7 years, a great role model in our community, and made sure he addressed the parents and what the Social League was about. And he was great to coach with. So I want to give him a shout out because he gets what you guys' plan are, and that was awesome. So again, appreciate you guys and appreciate the people in the community making it happen. On that note, I will ask for a movement for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
I have a first and second. All those in favor? Passes unanimous. Meeting adjourned.